Gemini, Cancer to your January Astro Dice reading. Hope you friends are doing great out there. If you friends like this, hit that big old like button and subscribe. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. Let's get in here and see what's going on in January. And for those of you who are new, this is where I take astrology with tarot and make a small horoscope using only one of the 12 houses. So let's see which house is coming up. Best message coming out. Going straight to the 9th house with some Aquarius energy and some Saturn. Saturn is sitting right there in your energy this month. So let's see. The part of you that accepts challenge to gain the wisdom. Okay. I'm going to do it with some Aquarius energy. The energy is freedom-loving, rebellious, idealistic, and technological. And doing it in the 9th house. And the 9th house is broadening your horizons, either spiritually, academically, or on a long journey. It's also about, you know, those New Year's resolutions and really planning out what it is you truly want, right, for your new year. So there's going to be some things that you're going to literally be looking at to expand your horizons and invest in, you know, in what it is you truly want within this journey, within this lifetime yeah, it could just be the lifetime itself, right? Just really getting towards what is it that I want, right? What is it that I really want to exceed at? What is it that I really want to, you know, do? Kind of like your legacy. So I do feel like there's something going on that has to do with your legacy as well. And academically, I mean, you know, you could be going back to school, learning something. Where am I going? So let's get straight into the situation. Situation is taking place in the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and the end of the month. A little warm in here. Okay. Beginning of the month, we have dun, 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 family. So really looking at the challenges of your family or for your family. Loving woman in reverse. Decrease. Okay. It could be a woman, doesn't have to be a woman. But it does feel like the love of what you felt within the family from this person, we're going to say, since it's a general reading, you feel like their love has decreased. They're not as loving as they were. There's something gone awry. Maybe you feel like they have kind of pulled it back away from the family. There's some messages that are coming through that they're saying I feel like you're self-sacrificing a lot. I feel like somebody is pulled away from the family unit. And I feel like you are going into this place of kind of surrender, letting this go and enlightening yourself on your journey over here. Going within, you know, some kind of deep insight, because the decrease in the way that this is going is weighing on you and causing difficult decisions. I do feel like there's a lot of prayers, a lot of surrender, a lot of pause as you're trying to do things differently. This could be a marriage. Or it could be your mom, your dad, a family member, right? Or It could be you could feel like this person has pulled away from your children, right? You're supposed to be there. But I do feel like there's going to be this big change in the air. As soon as you understand and you are weighing these difficult decisions that is going on within this situation, you're definitely going to see a major impact, especially within your spirituality. I do feel like where you may have given up a little bit of faith in this situation, whatever the situation is, use your discernment. Everybody's situation is a little different, but when it comes to this situation, there is a lot on your shoulders. But I do feel like within your spiritual, you're going to accept this challenge. You're going to learn from this situation, because I do feel like you're kind of climbing a staircase, kind of broadening your horizons over here, your ideas, your thoughts as you are in hangman mode. Because I do feel like they have, backed away from this situation. Okay. You may be trying to spend more time with your family as you feel this other person has kind of it has decreased from the situation. And it might even feel like the more I'm spending time with the family, the more they're pulling away, right? So that's kind of an issue that you're trying to get through. You may even feel like their loyalty is a little gone. They may be too rebellious. This is a card of rebellion. So you might even feel like this family member is being rebellious. Could even be a teenager. Causing some conflict over here, some stormy weather. Your intuition is, you know what, maybe they're, I wanted them. I feel like somebody may have had counseling at one time, or you bringing counseling up to them and they're denying this counseling. The person, professional assistance, even if it's just you talking and wanting to open up with them, it just feels like it's causing a lot of conflict. They don't want to talk about this situation. So you might be feeling like they're, may even be complaining a lot, that they just don't seem to want to see it your way. You might even feel like they're going off on the deep end, away from their spirituality. Okay, you have the blessings coming in with the situation, but you're very upset about this situation when it comes to this person. And they're really confusing you and causing a lot of chaos. You could be really rethinking an idea and having, kind of the despair over here and anxiety, really worried about this situation, right? Because it just feels like they're not coming into a place of where we can discuss this situation. Okay, so I do feel like they've kind of given up. They've given up on this situation where you feel that you need to continue to broaden this horizon. You're really, really looking for, here's another family card. And some of you could be dealing with a child, a younger sibling, something of this nature as well. Whoever it is. But it does feel like you're still trying to celebrate. It feels like in the middle of the month, you're still going after this happiness. I do feel like if you have other children or other family members, you're still shining your light out there. And it feels like you're shining your light out there, trying to be as radiant as possible. Really looking towards the blessings, even though you might be dealing with someone who's in a lot of depression. But I do feel like in some ways there's this kind of, and they might feel hopeless, but I also feel like you may feel a little hopeless about the situation as well. And you're really this is a challenge for you. There does look like there could be some depression going on. And it feels like you're trying your hardest to radiate out your love, trying to push this towards them. Now, guys, if you know it's you and it's the other way around, because the cross watchers could be like, it's them, right? This is probably a great time, to really get together with your friends, open up with someone. There has to be someone there. We have to create this community of happiness. We have to really shine that light, or allow that person to come in and shine that light for you. It really does look like it's someone else, though, more than yourself. But I always bring that up just in case. Okay. So, gathering yourself with your friends, your loved ones, can change that energy. Okay, because it's just living in the past. But it does feel like you are dealing with someone else, though. And it definitely could be a Pisces. And I have a lot of air too, so it could be an Aquarius, Pisces, or a Gemini. And it does feel like, or Leo, right? But it does feel like for the main pain, it's about really, you know, gathering that spiritualness, gathering that love, gathering that, you know, energy together to kind of give towards them as much as possible. So it does feel like the more relaxed you are when you're with this person, because it does look like they're in a lot of despair. They're lacking a lot of playfulness. They really have pulled themselves out of this situation. Um, they live in the past in their mind a lot. I think right now is just about comfort, really trying to comfort them as much as possible. I wouldn't, yeah, they are kind of fearing the change. And even if it's, because it's definitely somebody that I feel like you do care about. Okay. So it's trying to get them out of, you know, the release of the negativity, but it really does feel like it's bringing on an impact to the family. So maybe it's about how you can kind of guide them. Yeah. The words that you say, the love you produce outwards, right? So it's definitely about, the pleasant emotions and the exchange of words and the way that you can really, as much as possible, try to, listen. If they're not speaking, then it's about, it's about you speaking as much as you can to bring them forward. If they want to talk, it's about listening, not talking, right? Um, until needed to talk. But it's always about analyzing the factors before final, before making final, whys. I do feel like you are, this person has really backed away from you a lot. They're looking for their own place of pleasure. It looks like you are as well. Now, look, we have an increase over here with super new connection. It looks like they're, it could be a love situation as well. They may have lost their true love. This could be you as well. But it does feel like however is going on, it feels like on this journey and this long journey, you're taking the baby steps to the situation, but it's really about bringing this relationship back as much as possible. Even if there's disagreements, there's debates, even if it's in your mind or within their minds, it's just helping them increase their satisfaction. I do see that they're kind of coming out of their hidey hole a little bit. It doesn't look it's anything huge, but it's like I said, it's either you or them coming out of a hidey hole. There's an increase in self-doubt, um, becoming more self-aware of the situation, not feeling like, I'm in this place of self-punishment. So I feel like they are starting to come back out. You guys could be dealing with Sagittarius. They are starting to become more relaxed around this situation and wanting to connect with you, wanting to connect now, with other family members coming back around, right? They're got a more settled mind. There looks like there is a lot more recuperation, solitude. They could be finally, really opening up. I kind of feel like over here, though, you've kind of got them kind of open up, or maybe you're dealing with, one of these water signs. If they're not a water sign, you could have a water sign that's over there helping out with the situation. But I do feel like with the imprints over here, though, they're finally starting to come back around. For some of you, I think it's your kid. I think it's your child. Because I see you as being this, no matter what, I see you being this very loving parent, this very loving, nurturing imprints over here. And you're just giving out all of the love, taking the action where the action is needed. Could also be dealing with someone who's pregnant, who's very upset that they're pregnant. They could feel like they have, you're trying to help them along the situation. I see that. Because I try to, anything I see, I try to throw out to you guys, okay? Because it could be very important for someone. This is a general reading, so, there's, and if I see it, I'm throwing it. And I do see that they may be very upset about this situation. Maybe they feel like someone left them while they're pregnant. But they're starting to come back around to the situation. But there's a lot of planning and progress and making a lot of decisions and discovery over here. There's something about leaving home. Did someone leave home, right? Or did you leave the home and that made them upset? Or did they leave the home because they were so upset about the situation? Or did you make them leave the home because they were not being very well? I have leaving home like 2 or 3 times. And this really, kind of clouds the situation. Or are they leaving the home to come stay with you, to leave the home again and then travel again? Because I am seeing that as well. But they're not really seeing the intuition. They're not really using their intuition. But I do see that they're trying to make some kind of misunderstanding again. It's almost like they're doing very well in the end of the month, and then they go back into this kind of silence. And they feel like they've been misunderstood again. They feel like there's something deeper within them that they're having a hard time bringing out. But I just feel like with the ninth house, it's like, but we have to get to this. We have to get to this understanding. We have to fix this. And they're taking baby steps. And I see that you're also trying to take baby steps with them, even though they're very withdrawn. They're very isolated about the situation, but you're like, it's okay. Okay, it's okay, because there's a lot of discipline, a lot of analyzing going on. So there could be differences of opinions that are going on, and even some debates and disagreements that need to be settled and kind of cooled, because it feels like it's getting a little hot and heavy. But it does look like you're coming back into this place of like, whoa, hold on a second, before it all starts going crazy again. So I do feel like you are in that King of Swords area where you are starting to analyze the factors, starting to analyze the situation, okay, of this kind of unexpected kind of like misunderstanding. It was almost like they just kind of went off the far end. For some of you, I'm just going to bring that up too. It could be also drugs or alcohol. I hate saying that, but I mean, let's get real. Okay. But it does look like they could be battling that, right? Where they're really trying to, that could be making spiritual warfare. Okay. Because that's, addictions do that. So you could feel like this ninth house is, I'm right. Or it could, like I said, it could also be you, and then you just turn everything around. Okay. And, but it's almost like this disharmony is coming through, and it's like becoming, but it looks like there's going to be some kind of group conflict going on. But where the group conflict comes, oh, it's becoming justified. Okay, so there was a group conflict. I'm sorry. So there was a group conflict, but it's becoming justified. That it's coming back together because of the misunderstanding. The misunderstanding is now because it was separated due to the differences of opinion. There's differences of opinion over here on what should be going on and making these decisions. And whatever the decisions were, they weren't very thought through. They're not very thought through. Okay, it's kind of like out of the blue scenario. Okay, so that's why it's like, I'm going to leave home. And you're like, no, you're not leaving home. We got to figure this out. And it just feels like that's the withdraw. That's the kind of, right? And so it does say, though, you're making some progress over here, but keeping all of these opportunities at hand. Keeping, right? Yeah. Keeping all of this, but it kind of feels like it's being kept within a circle. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to let all of this understanding go outward. So like over here, you could say in the very beginning of the month, the family knows, and they're separating themselves from the family, and they're really upsetting, or the friends and the family, right? And it's really hurting the family circle, right? Over here, it's like we're trying to get everything together, but then over here, it's kind of like, well, we kind of fix things here a little bit. And it does feel like, it's like you, someone else, and them, right? It's like we're fixing this and it's becoming fixed, and then everything's going okay. But then they want to do something hasty. They want to do something that turns into this debate. But it's almost like it's a kind of a secret. Like you're not going to, see what I'm saying? You're not going outside of the circle. See, you're not going outside of the circle. You're like, okay, that's fine, but we're not going to let so and so know, or we're going to keep this together. We're not going to, you know, let this outside of between the two of us, or maybe the three of us, right? Whoever's involved, right? We're going to keep this very justified, and we're going to do this, and we're going to keep this together. For some of you, it could even be a divorce, that we are going to divorce, but we're not going to allow the whole world to know because of the misjustifications of here, because there could have been a third party situation that you're very upset about as well. I see that, and maybe they're very upset as too, because maybe that's why they pull themselves away, because of infidelity, right? For some of you, there could be, like I said, addictions involved in this situation with that person. So it does feel like, however it is, it's going to be justified and fair, and you're working through it together. Okay. So it does feel like, it's like, but taking the baby steps to get this back together. And even if it is someone like your husband or your wife, or whoever it is, they may even be going through a divorce as well, and maybe you're helping them through that. Okay, because I do feel like there could be some kind of separation issue or divorce issue, and it might, like I said, it could be your brother, your sister who's getting a divorce. Maybe they're having a hard time. Take it how it resonates. If there's no divorce involved, that's fine. It's there for somebody. Okay, but it's talking about how they're trying their hardest. Somebody's dealing with Sagittarius, got way too many Sag cards up here. Definitely starting to overcome the challenges, but I do feel like their spirituality is coming back around. I feel like, through meditation, I don't know why, but it's almost like they're starting to see in some ways this big step forward. I think this is something that's been going on for a long time, though. I don't think this is just something that just came out of the blue. I do feel like this is an issue that's been going on for quite a while. It's just kind of resurfacing itself into this kind of heavier energy that's coming up. But I do believe for a lot of you, this is something that, it's not just like it happened on the first. No, I think it's been happening for quite a while. And the only reason it's resurfacing is because the energy is becoming quite heavy. And I do feel like the darkness is going to turn into this light that I do believe guys have been waiting for. And I think that that's kind of like, are they going to climb out of this situation? Will I climb out of this situation? Yes. Yes. And it's like now the due time is here to step outside of this place. But it's almost like you have to have this, there has to be this huge chaos before the sun. But definitely keeping this, as positive as possible about the situation. But it does look like there is some development and some growth going, but it's definitely a roller coaster ride. But I do see at the end, they're starting to overlook certain situations. I do feel like for some of them, they will be getting the counseling they need with the Justice card. Or everything's going, you know what I mean? Everything's coming back together, or they're actually listening, however it is, right? However it is. But it just feels like the Fool's journey is a new journey. Where, things are there's going to be different kinds of possibilities going on over here. I do feel like this is the type of person, though, that does run in with blind faith, which is not always the best scenario, right? We want the faith, but we don't always need it to be so blind, because then that means we don't know where we're going. But I do feel like that you are definitely trusting within life, but I think that you are a big influence on where they're really planting the new seeds, how they're going, to do things, as, as crazy as it is. But I do feel like there's something here that, between your action and your determination, I'm starting to feel like they're picking up this piece from you as time is going, as time is going on. They're starting to detach for sure. And we got the Chariot and the Devil in reverse, right? And I do feel like there's some restoring of control over here when it comes to this situation. I do feel like they may have had a lot of resentment towards someone too. Could have been another family member. Um, it just feels like a big blow up. There was a big blow up, but now it's kind of like, because I do feel there's more than just three people involved in the situation. I mean, as I'm looking, I can see, there's family members. I mean, there's people involved in this situation. For some of you, there's four people. It's you, them, and the very important person, and then someone else as well. It might just be children. It could just be children itself, other children. But I do feel like there's another person that's kind of like, this is where this is going, and that's where I'm kind of hanging over here. But I feel like one of these cups over here, the one that's trying to help or however it is, I think they have resentment against them, and that's why they're coming towards you. Like I said, if it's you, then you're overcoming that resentment against them. Because no matter what it is, it's kind of like, okay, well, we need to move past that though and restore this. So I do feel like there's a lot of restoring energy when it comes to the ninth house. Okay. So yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle. It's not something that's completely over, but you do see a lot of the overcoming challenges, and that's exactly what it is. I'm overcoming a lot of these challenges, and they're starting to realize and starting to see things in kind of a different light. So there are some sustainable results taking place. They're going to need a lot of faith and a lot of blessings and a lot of prayers to help them really get out of this situation. Okay, it looks like a heavy one. It's very heavy energy. Okay, until next time, my friends. Peace and love. Bye-bye.